Good evening and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. I'm Aaron and I'm going to be the Doom Master tonight as we return to Modifius's Conan, an age undreamed of. We'll be continuing our story, but before we do that, let's meet our players, starting with Stephen.
Greetings, mortals. I am Sobek Keeper, the priest of Set the Old Serpent. Though my sight may have been taken from me, my powers of darkness have strengthened tenfold. I see what others cannot, and I command forces that would shatter the minds of lesser beings. My loyalty lies with the true Serpent God, and I will stop at nothing to further his agenda.
Jeff.
I am playing Zamir. Zamir Assad. I am a Blackhand assassin. I am a local to Zamora, and I am extraordinarily attractive to the point of intimidation for others. And I have a fondness for women of a certain age. And I also have a baby Bjorn that I'm very excited to carry back to a particular lady of an age.
Indeed you do. And Long.
Yes, I am Sir Drusus Jordan, a noble warrior from Corinthia.
And then last but not least, for tonight, because as you can all see, Ashley is not going to be with us tonight, Melissa.
Yes, so hi, I'm playing Roya Nati. She is a tribesperson. Where did everything go? I now have two monitors and now I can't find anything. So she's a shaman. Something that I was thinking about, her nature is supportive, but there's limits, as Sobek has learned. They're supportive and there's, make sure you get out of the situation alive. So she went a little kind of off nature early on. And she is interested to see how this party goes.
Excellent. So as a quick recap, our group of adventurers were hired by a Templar of Mitra to retrieve a holy relic of the Church of Mitra, a torque that was part of a set of regalia. They were able to figure out that its most likely resting place is beneath the obelisk of Set within the temple district. And it only seems like there's three possible ways to get in there. One, perhaps through the sewer systems or through the underground. Another is potentially through the temple of Set. And a third through the compound and home of the high priestess of Set, Setenepre. So our party split up at one point, and Roya and Sobek went to the Temple of Set, snuck their way in, got captured, got tortured. Roya was released so she could go get the other relics of Mitra and give them over to the priest torturer Zoyos at the party to save her friend Sobek, and Sobek was kept in a pit of serpents. The rest of the individuals, Sir Drusus Jolden went to a fighting pit. He ended up in a bout against Setenepre's handmaiden, Chisimdi, where he did not beat her, but he fared well enough that he was given an invitation to the party. Zamir, accompanied by Roya, went to, or Aurelia, went to see Grandmother Wisp and the Court of Beggars, where they found out some information about where they could get some invitations. They got the invitations with the promise that they were going to retrieve a decanter for Grandmother Wisp full of some priceless liqueur. The night of the party came. Everyone went to the party. As they were walking in, they passed the pool murder orgy on the right, the poison drinking game. At that point, Zamir slid into the shadows using his stealthy skills, got to the roof, and reconnoitered the area. Found a way into the servants' quarters through the chimney, found another way into the bathing room of Setenepre, managed to bypass the locks and traps. It slides down in, hearing two voices speaking in her bedroom, but unfortunately he doesn't speak Stygian, so he was unable to figure out that there was a woman's voice and a man's voice. He looks around the bathing room. He finds a few interesting things, but then he hears them leave the room. He sneaks in. He finds the decanter, much larger than he was expecting, but still manageable. And he figures a way to get back out onto the roof. And as he looks down, he sees in the great steaming bathtub what appears to be a locking mechanism, very much like Roya described from when she was in the Temple of Set. So probably mechanical and probably magical. We drop down into the party. Roya and Aurelia go off to the servants' quarters because they see Zoyos trying to track around and find Roya. They get in there. They find out some information. Roya disguises herself as a servant. Aurelia slips back into the party, goes over to talk to Sir Drusus Jolden, who has got a crowd of admirers around him because they're so impressed by his martial skills. Aurelia mentions to him that, by the way, from what they can hear, almost every one of these champions who gets a special visit to Setenepre's room never returns. So that's something to be concerned about. And that's a brief recap. So if you want a more in-depth look at what all of these fine folk got themselves into, go take a look at the last couple of episodes. However, for my players, your fortune is restored. Your momentum is low. My doom is high. So let's jump back into our Hyborian tales. We see a bat fluttering over the city of Zamora. The 10th bell will soon ring. It slowly flutters down, hovers briefly over a man in robes, his face covered, as he moves towards the palace district. Sobek, you hear in the background a great gong sounding from the temple district. Moments later, you hear additional gongs throughout the city, picking up the sound. You know, being a priest of Set, that this is a call to the servants and soldiers and priests of Set, that someone has escaped the temple's clutches and must be found. What do you do?
I think I would look for the nearest hole and hide in it. No, I don't know my way around the palace district. So I wouldn't want to ask any. I would start heading towards the sound of the first gong, the most powerful one.
You're fairly certain that that's where you just left, the Temple of Set.
Never mind then.
But you can go back. I will not stop you.
I would try to find my way as best I can to the party.
Okay.
I would not want to stop and ask for directions. And along the way, I would try to just look the part of a beggar, which I imagine wouldn't be too difficult right now. I know I was wearing sacrificial robes, but I would definitely dirty them up and try to make myself look a lot more filthy as I travel.
Well, you do know that Setenepre's compound is in the palace district, and it's a walled-off, guarded area. And the only way in is through a central gate that is manned by guards 24 hours a day. You can approach the guards if you'd like.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I would want to approach the guards. I would walk the perimeter and see if there's only one gate in.
Okay. You know for a fact there's only one gate in, but if you want to search for another way over the wall, you can do that.
Yeah, I suppose I would.
All right. I think let's go with a survival check. Difficulty 3.
All right, target 7.
You can always give me some doom if you'd like to bump up a couple extra dice. Or you can spend some of your critical fortune to...
I think I'm okay just failing this roll.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Okay, 1 success. I mean, you're following along the wall. You see some areas along the wall that you think could potentially be scaled, but they would be difficult. But you can definitely try. You're not sure what's on the other side. If you'd got a full success, if you'd gotten all three, you would have found a place where you could definitely go over the wall without being detected. But at this point, you're not sure if you're going to be spotted or not.
Would I be able to tell how raucous the party is inside the walls?
Well, no, this is an entire district of the city.
Oh, so this is just the Palace District. This isn't the actual.
Yep.
And the district is guarded by guards of Set or just like city guards? No,
city guards. City guards.
The
ruler of Zamora is a very paranoid man, so he keeps the Palace District guarded by his own men.
That's my misunderstanding then. I will go up to the guards.
Okay.
And I will take the rags that I've thrown on my face off so they can see my bloodshot eyes. I'm still covered in filth. And I'll just still pretend to be blind. Kind of stumble a little bit on my way up to them, pretending like I don't actually know where I am.
Okay. Oh, beggar. What are you doing here? This is the Palace District. You need to turn around and go back towards Old Town.
Oh, yes, of course. That's... I'll turn around right now, and I continue walking towards them, and I just want to get, like, almost within arm's reach of them.
Okay, that's not a problem. I mean, they're slightly bemused. They don't see you as a threat, so they allow you to approach.
To be fair, I'm really not a threat. That would be too generous with me. But I will cast my gaze spell.
Okay. Let me guard. Okay,
and that will be as soon as I get close enough within arm's reach. I will just try to lock eyes with him. I'm supposed to be begging on the other side of the wall. You will let me through.
All right. So spend your 1 point of resolve to cast your spell, and let's have a struggle. You might be surprised
Gaze
to
of
find
Set. Yep, the one resolve. I spent 2 by accident, but I will go ahead and we don't have any momentum.
You do not. But like I said, I'm always happy to take a doom.
No, I feel pretty confident about my spell casting, and you've got plenty of doom, so I am never going to give you doom if I can help it.
You never can have enough doom. You never have enough doom. But that's fair.
That is a 3 and a 1.
Nice. That's 4 successes for you, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's see how these guys do. I will not be spending any of my doom to see if these guards can survive this. So we'll... And because they're just minions, they only get to roll 1 die. So the odds are pretty stacked against them. Oh, I don't know why it rolled all that. Just the first one. Sorry, I forgot to reduce that. So they got a 2. They got 2 successes, but it's not enough. So you have them in your grasp.
With the 1 momentum, then, I will have it apply to both of them. Mm-hmm. And then do what you will is basically compel them to engage in a harmless act, as in continuing what they were doing. So like staying on patrol.
Okay.
Would that be enough to get me through them?
Yeah. They look at you. They're like, oh, right. You were supposed to be begging on the other side. Well, go along. We need to guard the gate. And
apologies.
That's all right. I don't know why we tried to stop you. And you get they've got a very befuddled look on their face, but they let you through, and you are into the Palace District. And you know, once you get into the Palace District, that Setenepre's compound is if you go up towards the hill, you could actually see some lights and hear some music. So you'll be able to track it pretty easily. And at that point, we're going to shift over to Zamir on the roof with the decanter, looking down into the bathing room, remembering and knowing that the decanter was prominently displayed in Setenepre's bedroom, and more than likely, as soon as she walks in, she's going to know that she's been burgled. So time is of the essence, and apparently she has a date in her bedroom in about 15 minutes.
Indeed. Zamir, he is bold, but he is not foolish, and he will not venture further into the pool, into this door without more support. So he will quietly retreat back to the party if he can, back the way he came, and he is going to be looking for anyone in his party, Drusus or Roya or Aurelia, if he can.
Give me a stealth check followed by an acrobatics check to quietly get back across the roof, down the pillar, without anyone noticing you.
Okay, so stealth
Difficulty
first.
1.
Stealth, I'm not going to take anything on because I've fairly high. So I'm going to difficulty 1.
You may get some momentum here.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3 successes. So that'll be 2 momentum.
2 momentum.
Which, let's see, I think I can actually bank this properly.
Yeah,
okay.
I put it up
for
you.
You did
Sorry.
it manually? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Okay, and then what I will do, I will just for the acrobatics, I'll use one of those. So I'm going to get one of those. Is there a difficulty on the acrobatics?
It's also just 1.
Okay.
There's so much going on in the party and you made the climb up already, so you kind of know
Gotcha.
how to get back down.
So he will use another die so I'm going to use one of momentum to see if I can get a couple more momentum. We'll see how it goes. And so, 3 successes.
All right. So you got 2 more momentum. You can go ahead and bank it.
I'll bank that. And so we're back up to 3.
So you slide down off the pillar. You go around the pool. You look into the main room, and there you see Aurelia. And she sees you as you see her, and she begins to slowly walk towards you.
And so what I'll do is I'll try to kind of turn our bodies in such a way as we're talking to her, so that the package that I have been carrying, because I had taken like a sheet or a towel from the pool room, and I'm kind of wearing that almost like a sash, and that's where I'm hiding that large decanter in, so it's not immediately seen. And I will say to Aurelia,
I have found what Grandmother Wisp has charged us with finding. However, it is, as you can see, far larger and more obvious than even Zamir can hide on his person. Would you be so kind? I think if we could get this out of the party safely, I can then return. I have found another lead for us. I have found a very secret entrance. But there's only one person, aside from Zamir himself, who would trust. He would trust with such a important charge as to please Grandmother Wisp, but it is you.
And so I will kind of hold it over to her and see if she would be willing to take it.
And she takes it. She gives you a nod. She's like, you need to watch out for Roya. She's dressed as a servant, but Zoyos is here looking for her. And Sir Jolden is hangers-on are speaking with them. But we've heard rumor that any champion that goes into Setenepre's bedroom with her never returns.
Well, if it does come to that, I have sabotaged the special device that I have found within Setenepre's bedroom, but hopefully it will not come to that. I have an inkling that what I have found in the pool might lead somewhere very interesting. In fact, the difficulty will be, how do I get those lumbering oafs up onto the roof and into the pool? Some of them, I swear, like Drusus, he's like pots being thrown around the kitchen. I don't know how this, but I will find a way.
Well, I will get this back to Grandmother Wisp. Make haste, my friend. And she turns and slides into the crowd and disappears. At that point, Sir Drusus and Roya, give me observation checks to see if you notice Zamir.
I got 2 successes with the 1 momentum.
Perfect. Bank that momentum, and you do. You see, you look up, and you saw Zamir speaking briefly with Aurelia, and then you see her turn and leave the party.
So I rolled with physical dice. So my target number is a 6, and I rolled a 6.
Fantastic. So you also see this interaction between Zamir and Aurelia. What would you all like to do? The three of you are at the party now.
I'll catch up with Zamir. Zamir, you've been gone for a while. Have you got what you needed?
I have been very busy. I have many things to share. I have completed, with Aurelia's help, a separate task. I have also tried to ensure that should you have to venture into the bedroom of Setenepre, which I have visited at this point now, there is, I will tell you later, but essentially, if you're ever bound to a wall, I have made the harnesses less secure. Servant woman, this way, please. We need drink.
As he will very mockingly wave down Roya at that point.
And Roya will, kind of with all the, kind of head bowed that you would kind of expect, she'll come over and, with her kind of tray of drink. Sirs, can I interest you?
How dare you speak to us? You are but a servant.
And he's got a very big smile as he says this.
I have found a secret door, a way into the High Priestess's inner chambers. There is a door. It is both mechanical. It's very similar to Roya, to what you saw with Sobek in the temple.
Oh yes.
I wonder if there might not be something either of value or the very passageway that we are looking for might be accessible through it. However, getting to that room is very difficult. I know a path. If you are stealth, if you are sneakily enough, we can get to the roof and find our way there. I have already defused some of the fences. However, it would require us getting onto the roof.
Have you seen, or aren't we about due for our friend to arrive?
Who?
I think that's the midnight bell. We're moments away from the 10th, where I have prior arrangements.
And Roya just sort of looks at the tray in her hand and just sort of sighs. She's got a long night ahead of her.
I'll remind everybody, because it's been a couple of weeks since we played, but the golden token that Sir Drusus Jolden has on him is what he will present to Setenepre to gain access to her chamber. She doesn't know what Sir Jolden looks like. And Shizimdi is not here within this room. So that's just information that you guys would have and would know. At this point, Sobek, you are approaching the gate to the compound of Setenepre, and you see two guards standing here, and these are guards of the Temple of Set.
What time was I supposed to arrive again? Like Drusa said, was it supposed to be midnight?
Yeah, you were going to be presented for as the work of art at midnight, but you would have probably arrived around 11.
I would like to wait an hour for the dramatic entrance. If I'm supposed to be there at midnight, it would be rude to show up early.
Okay. Well, it's not even quite 10 o'clock yet, so you can definitely hide. Give me a stealth check.
Where is Zamir when I need him? I don't even know where stealth is because I don't use it that often. Okay, 11 is my number here.
It's not bad.
I rolled a 3 and a 20, which is a complication, I believe.
Ooh. Okay. We're going to bank that complication for a moment. But with the 3, you're able to find a little, an area kind of offset away from the compound wall, and you're able to tuck yourself in and basically fall into the shadows. However, as the 10th bell prepares to ring, the doom goes up a little as things start to get a little more complicated. The door to Setenepre's bedroom opens. You hear the sound of footsteps walking down the corridor. The beaded curtain is opened by the snake charmers. And Zamir, Sir Jolden, and Roya, you see an incredibly beautiful woman walk through with long, straight black hair, olive color skin and black eyes, wearing a gown made of beads and jewels. And on her arm is one of the largest men you've ever seen. He stands at least 7 feet tall. His shoulders are as broad as an axe handle. He's got very, very, very dark brown skin, and his head is shaved. And his eyes are also the dead black of a shark. And you see at his hip is a black steel khopesh. You can only assume that this is Axios, the coil of Set, the chief bodyguard to High Priestess Setenepre. And they begin to slowly make their way through the room, speaking to people. You do notice that that the 3 followers of the spider god start to make their way to Setenepre. So Aurelia last session had noticed that there were 3 followers of Yazud at the party. And you see, if the 3 of them start to make their way over to Setenepre, and obviously this is a very unusual circumstance for them to even be here, let alone directly approaching the hostess. What do you do?
Can Roya kind of go in that direction, assuming that she's not really going to be noticed, and just try to listen?
Absolutely. Let's call this an observation check. But it's a difficulty 0. Because, like you said, you're a servant and you will not be noticed. So you can just take it without having to roll, or you can roll and potentially bank some momentum, but also possibly get a complication.
I mean, we're here to roll dice, so I'm going to roll.
Exactly. Let's have some fun.
Okay, that is a 5 and an 18, and my target number 6, so I'm good.
All right. So you get 1 success, and you hear them approach, and they're like, High Priestess Setenepre, from the Temple of Zehud, we are so grateful that you allowed us to attend your party. We are so thankful that the High Priestess of Set is willing to entertain our offer. She murmurs and says, yes. You're here on my invitation. You are safe. I am more interested in what it is that you bring to offer me. And they go, well, we know of a treasure in your vault, an obsidian scroll tube capped in silver. And we know that the language on the scroll is so ancient Stygian that it is even illegible to the followers of Set, but we know how to translate it. So we would offer you that translation of that ancient Set scroll in exchange for a decanter of liquid that you have, a priceless liqueur that I know you do not drink, but it is of great interest to the Temple of Yazud. So we would offer you this translation. She steps back for a second. She goes, I am interested in knowing what is on that scroll. It has been in our treasury for over a century. I will tell you this. After the party, return with whatever means you have of translating it. We will sit down, and if you're able to translate it to my satisfaction tomorrow morning, I will give you the decanter with the liqueur in it. They bow, they thank her, and they withdraw.
Royal will take that information back to Zamir and Sir Jolden.
As you start to walk away, you hear Setenepre whisper over to Axios. My dear, find my champion of the night. I am growing hungry. And find Zoyos, too. He has promised me a most exquisite torture tonight, and I want to make sure that my party is capped beautifully at midnight. And you see him start to walk off into the crowd.
Roya will just watch for him to go by, and then sort of scurry over to Samir and Sir Jolden. Sir Cholden, you are about to be called for, so that you are aware. And Zamir, you said decanter, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So that exchange that just happened was a deal in which she is going to give the decanter in the morning to those individuals if they translate something to her liking. So it will be noticed that it is.
We will be long gone before the morning. And if we are not, then we have bigger concerns, for we will then be dead. Now.
And a smile kind of comes across his face as he realizes that stealing this is not only like benefiting Grandmother Wisp, but is somehow harming the spider god cultists.
We have very little time.
So I just want to get the timing right. So it is almost 11 bells, and that's when
almost 10 bells.
Almost 10 bells, and that's when Drusus has got his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then 11 bell, and then 12 bells is when Sobek is technically. We still think that Sobek's going to arrive and be, tortured or whatever.
Tortured, yeah. You think he'll probably arrive before that because the actual torture art is supposed to start at 12. But yeah, sometime between 11 and 12 bells, Sobek would arrive to be a torture puppet.
Drusus, I have every faith in your martial abilities, but I do not suspect that you will want to have a close personal audience with the High Priestess. If you want to remain and you want to go through the process, go right ahead. But we have time before Sobek is to arrive. We could potentially get through the door, find the Torque, and then return in time to help our friend, our acquaintance, the guy we travel with sometimes.
Yes, but if Setenepre has come down herself, she might be looking for me.
But she does not recognize you. She has no idea what you look like.
Word might have passed around the party. I've quite introduced myself well.
No, goodness. Okay. Well, if that is the case, if you want to remain, I bid you luck. And again, if you find yourself strapped to a wall within the High Priestess's chamber, I have managed to sabotage somewhat the harnesses that will keep you. Roya, shall we go?
Yes.
Good luck.
Okay, so we're going to cut for a second. And we're going to go back out to Sobek. I just want to double check that, make sure there's nothing else Sobek wants to do while he's waiting.
No, I would find a corner, act like a beggar that's fallen asleep on the side of the road, and just try to keep an eye on the main gate, especially for a carriage that looked like I was supposed to be in it.
Okay. You see nothing coming up, and then you start to hear the first bell of the 10 bells. Zamir and Roya, you make your way out past the pool. You're back out into the shadowed entrance near the pillars. What would you like to do?
I would like to try to stealth upward once more. I would like to direct Roya into the direction of where we are going. Careful, here and here. Wait. Heartbeats. Count them. You'll see the guards pass. Stay in the shadows. Do not begin until you see them turn.
Okay. So, since you're stealthing together, it's the person with the worst stealth that rolls. So that's Roya.
Mm-hmm.
However, because Zamir has done this twice and he's giving you very good guidance, I'm going to reduce it to a difficulty of 1. You have 3 momentum, and you can give me, which you can get up to 5. You can always get up to 5 dice. So
be careful, Zamir. The last time I stealthed with Roya, I ended up in a snake pit.
Who said that? Where are you?
Okay, so I'm going to, let me see if this works the way I think it should. I'm going to roll this off the sheet.
Definitely
so
take momentum. Okay.
I'm taking 2 of the momentum, yeah.
Okay.
Jeff is like, do not fuck this up for me.
I have a reputation to maintain as a stealthy boy. You will not ruin this for me.
Roya's foot is just going to come down through the roof of this building.
I don't know who she is. I don't know this one. Oh, God.
2
2
successes.
successes, 1
So you
momentum, and 1 complication.
succeed. 1 complication. So for the complication, at this point, you're moving through. You get there. Nobody notices you, but then you hear, coming from the servants' quarter, you hear Zoyos's voice saying, "You gave her a servant's uniform. Turn out the guards, but be discreet. Do not interrupt the mistress's party." And then you hear a perfect description of what you look like. But at the moment, you're hidden in the shadows behind the pillar. Sir Jolden, in the party, you see this large, dark-skinned man, and this booming voice says, "Whoever holds the golden token, present himself to the high priestess Setenepre's guards at the beaded curtain, and you will be escorted to your well-deserved audience."
At that sound, I sort of bottoms up my last drink. I head towards that direction.
All right. So we see Sir Drusus Jolden moving through the party. You see, as you're going through, some people are looking at you, some with faces of envy, most with faces of sadness and fear. Sobek, still sitting out, still buried in his shadows. But you hear the sounds of booted feet coming up from down the hill, and the chants of priests of Set as they call out up the hill to the guards that they're looking for an escaped prisoner. Zamir and Roya, how would you like to get on the roof?
So is the pillar path that we were going to take, is that no longer accessible?
It's totally accessible. You can absolutely do it.
I think this is the way. Otherwise, we would need to go into the kitchens, and I think now is not a good time for that. Let's go, 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 go.
So what you can do is, Zamir, you can roll your acrobatics check first, get on the roof, and then you can aid Roya with 1 die to see if you can assist her up.
Okay. I will. What's difficulty?
Just 1, because you've done this
Okay.
twice now. So it's...
I'm still going to burn a momentum to try to increase the momentum pool. Okay. All right. 2 successes. So I just basically, it's a net gain. And so then I will try to help her lower a cloth or rope. Maybe I still have the towel I just gave with something like that. And I'll try to lower that to give her a hand as she's coming up.
Okay. So you easily scamper up through the shadows, get on the roof, belly over, and lower this sash for Roya. So Zamir rolls 1 die. Roya, I need an acrobatics check, difficulty 1, because you've got a rope helping you as well.
All right, I will spend 1 of those momentum that we have. So I'm rolling 3 dice for this.
I think I roll 1, right?
Yeah, you would if she had gotten any successes.
Oh my gosh.
But since she did not get any successes,
Fortune.
Roya, you start to climb up, and you start to slip back, and you're going to slam into the ground. But as someone has pointed out, you do have fortune that you could potentially use if you wanted. And to remind everybody what fortune points are spent on, you can get a bonus dice, and that bonus dice is automatically a 1. You can take a bonus action, an additional standard action without having to spend momentum. You can recover all lost vigor or resolve. Doesn't really matter here. You can ignore a wound or a trauma, or you can make a story declaration, introduce a fact or detail to the current scene with the Game Master's approval.
So can I say that Roya knows she's not a spring chicken? She's got some years behind her. She kind of saw the climb that was about to happen and figured that this might hurt a bit if falling were to happen. So I'm going to say there was something that she was able to just kind of pile some cloth or something, straw or cloth or something, kind of at the bottom of sort of the climb, knowing that this fall might just happen and wanting to not fall on her back.
Absolutely. So, I mean, this is near the pool, so you were able to discreetly pull clothes from these people who are in the pool murder orgy, and you built basically a nest of these clothes under the pillar. So as you fall, you spend your 1 fortune point, and you fall into this pile of clothes. You do not make a sound, and you take no damage, but you're still on the ground. You can try again.
Yes.
And if you spend a fortune point, a second
I'll just spend the fortune. I'll just go from 3 to 1 fortune.
So you will have the automatic 1 success. So you don't even need to roll if you don't want to, but you can if you want to try to make some momentum.
I would like to just take the success and not get a complication.
So Zamir, you're looking over. You see Roya start to climb. You see her fall, but into the cleverly made nest of clothes that she put together. Then she pops back up, quickly looks around. Nobody seems to have noticed. This time she deftly grabs a hold of the scarf and quickly scurries up to the roof. And the two of you are now above the atrium.
And Roya is just glad that this all worked out. And so she's just like, here I am. This will be fine.
Zamir is just shaking his head.
You're going to be the death of me.
Perhaps. But for now, here I am.
This way.
And he'll just kind of point in the direction where we need to go back to get back to the pool. Yeah.
Are you going to try to go back there stealthily, or you?
Yes. Yes. This is the worst. Oh my gosh. Oh God.
So Roya, however, as before, Zamir is telling you where to step. So it's just going to be difficulty 1 for you on this stealth check. You do have 2 momentum, and of course, as always, you can give me doom.
So Roya wants to ask Zamir, how much farther is this going to be?
Not very far. Please, just step where I step. Here, then here, not there. No, don't step. Do you want to fall down into the gardens and have the hyenas eat you? Carefully, quietly.
I really don't. I really don't. Okay, because it's not that much farther. I'll spend both momentum.
Okay, I like it. Difficulty 1.
2 successes, 1 banked momentum.
Excellent. So you guys are easily able to stealth back over to the skylight over the bathing room of Setanepre. And at that point, we're going to cut back to Sir Drusus Jolden. You approach the curtain, the beaded curtains with the golden medallion. The snake charmer standing there looking at you. Just nod. And they're like, Setanepre is waiting for you. May Set guard your soul.
Excellent. I've had a friend tell me that once.
You're able to walk down it's a very short hallway, and then her bedroom door is open. It's a heavy, heavy oak door. And as you walk through, you see standing behind the door is Axios. And he just nods to Setanepre and walks out of the bedroom and shuts the door from the other side. But you can hear his heavy back leaning up against the door. And you are alone with Setanepre. She looks at you and she goes, tell me your name, champion.
I am Drusus Jolden.
Chisimdi told me that you fought well and that you handled your pain well.
Yes, I'm used to it.
This makes me very happy. Please strip out of all of that.
And tonight I was pretty much in fine clothing, not really heavy armor.
Mm-hmm.
And as I take my tunics and whatnots off, you can see some heavy scarrings that I've had in previous fights.
She walks up, starts tracing the scars, and she's like, oh, indeed. She goes, here, back against the wall.
As you wish.
She goes, this is how I like to start my interviews with my champions. And she clasps your hands and your feet into the shackles of the X, giant wooden X against her wall. And at that point, we'll go back out to Sobek. Sobek, you are starting to see the priests cresting, and they have hounds with them. If anybody was unsure, this is the complication.
I was not built to be a one-man army. That's why I brought Roya with me, and then she abandoned me, and then never came to try and save me. And now I'm out here with hounds chasing me down. Sorry, Sobek kind of spirals in these situations.
That's fair. You still have time. They're still far enough down the hill. They're a couple hundred yards away, but the way the hill slope is, you're starting to see them, and you can hear the yips of the hounds. You can hear
the only way that seems to be into the palace, the her house or whatever. That's the main entrance that's guarded, correct?
Yes. There's two gate guards there, but you see them letting people in and out. People are just handing invitations over.
All right, let's do this again. I take off the rags one more time, and I walk up to the gate guard, and on the way, I grab a stone from the road, and I hand it to the gate guard, look him in the eye, and say, "Here is my invitation." And I cast Gaze of Set.
All right, let's see this again.
I will spend a fortune.
Oh, nice.
To give myself a bonus die with an automatic 2 successes there.
Okay.
And then I'll roll my 2. That is another 1, 2, 3 successes.
Wow.
So 5 successes total.
Nice.
I believe it would be just the 1 momentum. It is contested, so he would have to roll.
Yep, I'm getting that set up right now.
But I believe it's just the 1 momentum for him to continue doing what he's doing again. It might be risky behavior, so that's your call if it costs 2 momentum or not.
No, I don't think so. Why does it keep... I'm not sure why it keeps rolling that, but it's just the first die. He got a 4. He got 1 success.
Okay, so I would spend the 1 momentum to make it apply to the person next to him again. And then I would like to bank the other... let's see, I had 5, and then 1, 2, so the other 3 momentum.
Perfect. So guard looks down. He's like, go in. Doesn't even.
I look like a mess right now, but I do go in and I put the bandages back on my head.
When you look in and you see, there's people who are naked. There's people who are walking around self-flagellating. There's a lot of.
Oh, perfect. I'll get naked too.
There's a lot of weirdness going on. But as
I don't want these torture robes on. Those are kind of conspicuous.
But as you walk through, you actually, out of the corner of your eye, see Zamir and Roya scamper up to the roof.
By Set. I can't get up there.
Point of order. He sees Roya. He didn't see Set.
Well, that's true.
Come on now. I'm a professional at this. Okay.
You just see Roya just falling silently and then sneaking back up again.
I would try to get the direction they're headed, but I don't think I could climb up there. I am not that talented.
Give me a difficulty 4 observation check.
All right, I will take the 3 momentum that I just banked. Oh, shit. So I did get 5 successes, actually, but I also got a complication.
Excellent. Okay, so you notice that they're heading towards the back left corner of the house on the roof. The complication is now that
you can
naked,
bank it. You don't need to spend it now.
that's Now that you're naked, you're noticed by the people in the pool, and a couple of them come out to pull you into the pool. At that point, we find
that does sound kind of fun.
Well, just to remind everybody out there who might be watching, in the pool, there appears to be an orgy of sorts going on. However, one person in the pool at all times is tasked with trying to grab someone else and murder them. And if they successfully murder them, they get to go back to the fun, and the next person has to try to kill someone. So it's an interesting game that they're playing.
Sobek didn't see that, so this just seems like some Marco Polo.
I've been to parties of set before. I understand the rules.
But he does manage to see right as those people are coming out, he sees a woman with very long nails rip the throat out of some poor hapless man. And the pool itself is almost red with the blood that's been spilled in there. Speaking of blood being spilled, we find Sir Drusus Jolden chained to an X-frame in the room of Setenepre. And she is selecting what looks like a broken glass encrusted cat of nine tails. And she's like, I'm most interested, my dear friend, in how you handle pain. And if you can handle the pain well, then you will have the pleasure. And if you cannot, well, you're really a champion then after all.
Yes, my dear lady, but is there some sort of safe word?
Oh, no, my sweet champion. As I said, you'll either do well or you won't. At this point, you can try to take any other action you'd like to take before the whip falls on your body for the first time.
I'll sort of just give the chains a tug just to test them. Just
you
to
can
try to get that feel.
You definitely feel as you pull forward that the clasps, the manacles around your wrist, have gives. You're pretty certain on both your hands and your feet. You're pretty certain that if you just tugged, you'd come right off the wall.
I'll sort of just let it happen and take my time observing the room, see what kind of other exit paths maybe there are.
Give me a daunting resistance check. 3 successes.
Okay. Daunting. I'll use a 1 momentum.
All right.
Got the 3 successes.
Holy Hannah. Okay, so the whip slashes out. You get cuts across your shoulder, but it doesn't even seem to faze you. You've had so much worse in your years. You don't even grimace. Your eyes just casually are staring at hers, and you see her smile and start to purr.
Have you started yet?
Oh, you may actually prove worthy, my dear champion. Sobek, 2 people are coming to pull you into this pool. What do you do?
I could use a bath. I'll go with jump in, play the game. The best way to blend in is to take part in the party, right?
All right, exactly. Give me an athletics check. Difficulty 1.
Ah, shit, I'm gonna die. Athletics is under brawn.
Correct.
Do we have momentum? We do.
There's 3.
I'll take 2 because I need it.
All right.
That is 2 successes.
Okay.
So I'll bank one of those momentum again.
So you're thrashing around in the pool, but you're having a pretty good time at the moment. Who else might be having a good time? We'll see. Is Zamir and Roya as you you're at the skylight, looking down into the bathing room of Setenepre. You can hear through the open skylight and through the door that separates the bedroom and the bathing room. You hear the sound of a whip cracking, and you hear Sir Jolden's voice. He does not sound like he's in pain at all, but just in casual conversation with a woman that you can only assume is Setenepre.
We need to be quiet as we go down. This pool room connects to her chambers. Look right there. Do you see?
Do we still see like the trap door?
Yep.
And then
It sounds like he is keeping her occupied.
I do
Her
not
timing
feel.
is good.
I do not feel that he will win the long game. She is a high priestess. He is a formidable ally, but she, again, is a high priestess of Set.
Very true.
We can either choose to sacrifice him and use his death as our means of entering this special room, or we could reinforce and try to help eliminate the high priestess or take her off the board for the time being.
Okay. Let's hope I don't fall through that skylight.
You are the oldest, and I presume the wisest, because you're not the stealthiest or the most acrobatic, or so I leave it to you to decide.
And then he will, like a gymnast, just swing down.
Zamir doesn't even need to roll. It's a difficulty 0 for him. It's also a difficulty 0 for Roya. So you can just do it. You can just succeed if you want, or you can roll and see what happens.
I don't want to roll.
Okay. So you're both able to just, I mean, you just hang from the skylight and then you drop the few feet. Zamir is there. He helps cushion your fall. The two of you find yourselves standing in the bathing room of Setenepre, separated from your companion, Sir Jolden, by a door, and the sounds of a whip cracking. Sir Jolden, let's have another resistance check. Difficulty 3.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and spend another momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't roll my second one.
Just go ahead and roll another one. It's fine.
So I got one success, but I'll go ahead and use my hardy talent and reroll any non-successes there.
Okay. Good use for the talent. So 2 dice.
I ended up getting 2 successes total.
Okay, so you guys now you hear for the first time Sir Jolden kind of yelp, scream out. Not a loud scream, but she's cut deeper than you were expecting. And you take 1 point of fatigue. So on your character sheet, above your vigor, that little 0, make that a 1. So that temporarily reduces your total effective vigor.
I see.
And if it gets down to 0, I mean, if you get so much fatigue that your total max vigor goes to 0, obviously that would be unfortunate. But you guys, so you hear him yelp out. What do you do?
With that, Zamir will grimace and he will look at Raya. He will look longingly at the trapdoor in the pool, and then he will try to stealthily enter into the chambers with the goal of you as he starts to sort of, and he say, Raya, turn away for a moment. And then when you turn back, he has produced from somewhere on his person, unraveling the various parts of his harnesses and such. He has what looks like a very heavy chunk of leather that's been wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. That is a sap that he carries, and he has a dagger as well. He would like to try to get in there, and he's trying to basically conquer over the head without being seen.
I like it. So you give me your stealth check, and she will resist it with her observation check, and we'll see how it goes. You've got 3 momentum.
Yeah. I'm going to use... Oh, boy. I'm going to use it all. It's 1-to-1 in Conan, right?
Correct. 1-to-1 in Conan.
All right. I'm going to use all of it. Because even if it's not... Hope is that it'll come back to us, because it's such a high... All right. So, sorry, I should probably do it from the other thing. All right. Okay. That's 6 successes.
Nice. Okay, now she's distracted. She's deeply involved in what she's doing. So I'm not going to spend any doom to give her extra dice. I am just going to roll it.
Deeply involved. Yeah.
And she gets 2 successes. So you net 4 successes. So that's you're up to 5 momentum.
Okay.
And you were able to sneak in there and get directly behind her. Now this is a sneak attack sort of situation. So you can use the exploit at difficulty 0 to get an effective exploit. You can still roll then, and any momentum you get from that, you can automatically add d20s to the attack, which also give it the piercing 2, and each additional dice you add is also +1 in damage.
So I am going to. Okay, I'm looking at the sap again. Sap is hidden, stun, and unforgiving. So I'm trying to. Oh boy. I think I'm going to try to. I don't want to assassinate her. I feel like that would be bad for our long-term prospects in Zamora. But I will try to stun her if we can. So I'm going to try to use this sap. The exploit adds. I'm trying to remember what it adds. What's the tag it adds again? I know it adds something.
I'll tell you real quick. Exploit. It makes it piercing 2, so you would bypass any armor she might have. Any momentum that you gain from the roll of the exploit action will add 1 bonus d20 plus +1 to the damage, and it's repeatable up to the full 3 times. So it's piercing 2 plus each additional momentum you use to get extra dice adds damage. Of course, if you're using the sap, it's non-lethal.
Right.
If you get if you get at least 1 effect, the stun, I'm just going to say for flavor purposes, you will be able to knock her out.
Okay. I will then take the exploit action, if that's okay. And then because I have gone very heavily down the assassin path, which means that when I roll attacks, I actually get to use my stealth skill. So I'm going to take 2 momentum just to get the extras. I don't need this. I know this is overkill, but
I will say, since you're doing the exploit action so to take a second standard action will cost you 2 momentum before you make your attack.
Can I do does a fortune point do it, or can I use a fortune point as well? I can't remember.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I'll burn one of my fortune points to do it instead of burning the more momentum. So I will add. Wait. Okay, so I'm burning 2. So I'm rolling 4 dice. Okay, that is a total of 6 successes.
Oh yeah. So that's an additional. Okay. Do you want to roll your damage then?
Yeah.
It's an additional +3 to the damage too from your sap.
All right.
And then obviously 5 momentum go into your pool, maximum of 6. So you can spend momentum 1 for 1 on additional damage, because the 3 damage you get is from the exploit feature, but you can do additional damage on top of that up to an additional +3. So you could use 3 of those momentum that you just earned to increase your damage bonus to 6 dice.
Okay, I will do that. So I'm going to go ahead.
And I'm going to say this: as long as you stun her and get at least 1 wound, you're going to knock her out.
Right. So I can get it. So right now I'm sorry. Can you walk me through the damage again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So it's what's your sap? What's the damage on the sap?
So the damage on the sap by default is 3.
Okay. So it'll be 3 plus an additional 6 dice.
Okay.
So a total of 9 damage dice.
All right. So, and 3 of those are like immediately spent momentum. Okay. I think I got it put in properly. So here we go. Okay. So let's see. 6 physical damage. Now, let me check my talents. I think I have.
Now that will pierce through 4 points of armor because it's piercing 2. So you're going to bypass her armor regardless. And you get 1 effect and you do a wound. So you don't really need to re-roll anything if you don't want to. You sneak up behind her. You grab at the back of her hair, pop her head back, hit her in the throat with the sap. She gasps. You hit her right there behind her left ear, and she crumples at your feet.
That's all I wanted. Yeah, that's good.
Now you do see in the at her side, other than the cat of nine tails that she's got, she does have another whip at her belt. However, when you look closer at it, it is not the head of the whip, is a living serpent.
Oh,
And it coils and looks at you. It doesn't do anything, but you think maybe it might not be the whip to pick up. But you can
Good
try if
boy.
you want.
Good boy. Down. Just Drusus. Now would be a time.
Oh, Zamir, you're here a bit early. So just break the chains off hands.
So what do you want to do about Setanepre?
We can take her with us. We can bound her and leave her hidden, I think. Just be careful of that. I will leave you to carry her. Be careful of that snake. We should bind her. We should gag her as well. And take her with us.
That's easy enough to do. There's plenty of bed sheets, and she literally has gags in her room, as one would expect.
Of course.
So binding her is not a problem, and you're able to. And it was done so quietly, nobody on the other side of the door even seems to notice as you bundle Setanepre back into the bathing room with Sir Drusus Jolden in tow. Sobek, you are in the pool, being thrashed around. Give me an athletics check. Difficulty
Having
3.
Time of my life until you said 3. Okay, so I'll be taking 3 momentum there. My athletics is 7, so that is just barely 3 successes.
All right. So you're still jostling around. Now I need an observation check. Difficulty 1.
Okay, I will not take momentum on that. I failed that, though.
All right. Good times.
With it getting a little more dangerous, Athletics 3 does have me a little nervous. I think it's time for me to start making my way to the edge of the pool.
Okay, you're starting to make your way to the edge of the pool.
I just wanted to kill a little bit of time before the torture started. I don't need to die before I see it.
I don't know what I said. It's just the first 3. So you feel a blade bite into your back from behind. You didn't see this guy coming up from under the water.
Oldest trick in the book, but there was so much blood in the water, I wasn't looking.
You only take 1 point of damage. He was slicing for the back of your neck, but you just managed to pivot right at the right moment, and he nicks up your scalp and cleaves the top of your left ear off.
I'm gonna cast Gaze of Set again as I turn around, make eye contact with him. Why don't you do that to yourself? And I will spend a fortune again because he took my ear. I needed that ear.
He just took the tip of it. But yes.
But the tip is the most important part. Anyways,
Right.
So I will spend a second fortune point for an automatic 2 successes, and I will take 2 momentum as well because I like vengeance.
So you spend your resolve, you spend a fortune point, and you go to deal with this guy. And let's see how he handles this. Probably not well.
I did not roll very well though. So I got 4 successes and then the automatic 2.
I'm not sure why it's doing that. It should have only been the first dice. He got 1 success.
Okay, and let me double check my spend here. I think it's 3 to make them turn a blade on themselves. 3 momentum.
Nice.
Blood-soaked words compel them to engage in a violent act, turning the blade upon themselves. 3 momentum.
Yep.
Yeah, so I will do that, and then I get to bank the other 2 momentum, I believe.
All right. So you stare into this guy's eyes, and you tell him, to turn the blade on himself. And you see him start to shake, like he's trying to fight it off. But then this blank expression comes over him, and he turns the blade around, and he gives this odd little frown, and he puts it up against the base of his chin, and he just hammers it into his brain. And then
I play this game to win.
Waves. And then we see Sobek getting out of the pool. And we're back with Zamir, Sir Drusus Jolden, and Roya in the bathing room.
So we've already tied up.
Yeah, she's
taken care of.
She's
like a sack of potatoes over Drusus's shoulder.
Exactly. Bound, gagged, blindfolded, and tied. Just like she likes it, but under other circumstances.
And so Roy is just going to eye the portal.
Mm-hmm.
You see in the base of this pool, the pool is about 2 feet deep. You see an exact replica of the same kind of lock that you and Sobek bypassed in the Temple of Set.
And Roya will confirm to Zamir that is it.
Do you know how to disable it?
I think the answer to that is no.
You don't.
You would know enough to get past the mechanical lock, probably with less difficulty than you had to deal with at the temple. However, you don't know how you'd get past the magical part without Sobek. At least not easily. It's possible. I mean, you could definitely make a sorcery check and hope for the best.
We are we all know certain things, and there are certain things that I know, but there's a missing member of our group that knows the other things.
I have tried. I have already encountered one of their ensorcelled traps. I will try again. He is not here yet. He will not be here until 12 bells. So we need to move quickly. We need to recover this so that we can be back in time to rescue him. Yes.
I certainly hope he has been avoiding the snakes all day. I'm sure that was a long day with the snakes.
So Zamir told to Drusus,
Drusus, I know you are a man of martial prowess, but in your travels, do you have any knowledge of sorcery?
Sorcery. You're making up stuff.
I do actually have some sorcery, so if Jolden doesn't have any, I am better at sorcery than I am at acrobatics.
And Zamir is an excellent thief, so you could describe to him how you opened the mechanical side, and he would probably be fairly easy with him. I would even let Zamir do the mechanical part first to see if you guys get any extra momentum.
Oh, you are a strangely benevolent GM right now, which makes me terrified as to what is on the other side of this trapdoor.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's not like I'm leading you into a trap or anything, but
all right. I will go ahead. It's going to be thievery, I assume. Is there difficulty?
Thievery, difficulty 3, instead of the difficulty 5 they faced in the temple.
Okay, difficulty 3. I'll use. I do have decent thievery, so I'm gonna burn 2 momentum with the hope of trying to get additional momentum. I always keep putting it in the wrong place. Okay. Right on it, just 3 successes.
Okay. So you're able to, you feel the lock starting to click. At the same time, Roya is chanting, trying to remember the sorcerous words that Sobek spoke. Let's see how you do. Remember, fortune points.
Fortune.
You do have 3 momentum, so you can still get the extra 3 dice if you wanted. It's a difficulty 3, because I'm going to say you heard it once before, so I'm going to drop the difficulty from 5 to 3.
I think there's only 1 momentum because I just used 2, so I just dropped it.
Okay. There, you can always give me Doom.
Okay, so let me look at this. So sorcery. You have 2 focus in sorcery.
So if you spent a fortune, that would give you 2 successes automatically.
Okay, so I will spend my last fortune, and I will spend our momentum.
Okay.
Do I want... Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll give a doom.
Excellent.
Fingers crossed. Six successes, 5 momentum.
Okay. So describe between the two of you, describe how it is you get this lock open.
So Roya is just going to kind of close her eyes, and she's just going to say, Sobek, I know you are spent the entire day surrounded by snakes, and I know you're currently bound and probably just about to be on your way here. I know it must feel very alone to be so very far away from all of us, but we are doing our best to be prepared for your arrival. Let me recall your words. And so then she kind of starts doing her thing.
And Zamir's part of it, he will flourish some basic like little picking tools, thieves tools, things like that from places. And then he will look up at her as she's going through all this, like,
we're on a timetable here. Do you normally speechify each time? Never mind. You have done well. You've done well.
And Roya just sort of looks at you and says, yes, I do.
And you hear that beautiful, you hear a slight hiss. Same hiss you heard when you opened the temple door. And a click from the mechanical lock, and then you see the water draining out of the pool into small holes that are set low in the wall of the pool that you didn't notice before. And then when all of the water is clear, the floor of the bath starts to unfold into a spiral stairwell leading down.
Please allow me, and I'll head down first.
Sobek. You just got out of the pool, and you see Zoyos, the priest torturer, walking out of the ballroom. Give me a stealth check. And we'll see how observant he is tonight.
Plenty of momentum.
All right. Yeah, I'll take some momentum. I'll take 2 momentum. It doesn't help me much. I got 1 success.
All right, let's see how he does.
Oh, no.
And he got 2 successes. So you're getting out of the pool. You look up and see him. You start to try to duck back in and around the people near the pool, but his eyes lock on yours. And at first he looks confused, and then he looks furious. And you hear him call for Axios and start to move through the crowd towards you. What would you like to do?
Suppose I'll smile at him. And then I'll turn and run towards the roof where I can climb up.
Okay. Okay, so you make your way over towards the pillars. Give me a acrobatics or athletics check to climb up this pillar, since stealth is not a concern here.
We will be going acrobatics. We have 3 momentum left, I believe, right? So I will spend another 2 burning through all this. Okay, that's 3 successes, but another complication.
Excellent. Okay. So
I rolled so many nat 20s. Why is this not D&D?
So you get the momentum banked. You're able to easily get up on the roof, running naked and wet across the roof. However, the complication is that Zoyos and Axios see you, and you see Axios blow a whistle. And you remember that pony-sized hyena that stood up on his hind legs? You hear him let out a series of cackles and yips, and he runs towards the building. Sir Drusus Jolden leading the way downward As you're moving down, you see that there are torches lining the way down. And as you pass them one at a time, they each light. And they've got a very pale, sickly flame, but it's enough to see by as you slowly spiral your way down into the depths beneath Setenepre's compound. She's heavy, but not so heavy that you can't manage her. You keep banging her head against the wall as you make the spiral turns, but she doesn't yell out. You're not sure if she objects or is just biding her time. Roya, Zamir, you're following behind. It only takes a couple of moments. You only descend about 30 feet before you come down to the floor of this secret chamber. In it, the first thing that catches your eye is at the very center of the chamber, there's an elaborate pictogram and seal on the floor, and hovering above it is a sphere of what looks like blood. It's at least 12 feet across. It's huge. And then you hear a woman's voice cry out. And over in the corner, you see a cage. But within the cage, it's well appointed with cushions and everything, but you see a young woman, probably 14, 15 years old, fully clothed, in the cage, and she's cowering back into the very back of it, begging not to be taken. Sobek, you're running across the roof. Where do you go? You hear the claws of something scraping at the pillar behind you.
So I can use enslave to spook an animal, the gaze of Set to spook an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So I will run the direction I saw them going, because I'm not necessarily worried about them being caught anymore since I've been caught.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I hear the animal getting closer, the hyena getting closer, I'd like to cast Gaze of Set on it.
Okay, what you see coming at you, and you've got a few moments because it climbs over the lip of this building and it hunches up. And you realize that this isn't a hyena because it stands on its hind legs and it's got burly, heavy shoulders and a hunchback and the face of a hyena. But you see human intelligence in its eyes, and you realize that you're staring at a were hyena. And it lets out a yip.
Okay, that does change things a bit.
And you hear it growl, "Meryl has dinner early tonight," and slowly starts to stalk towards you. However, because the light is coming up out of the bathing room, you do see they either went down the chimney or they went down into this through this skylight. Behind the were hyena Mero, you see Axios's head pop up, the giant, dark-skinned, bald man carrying a black steel khopesh in his hand. Now we're back down in the pit. We're down in Setenepre's secret chamber, her secret torture room and laboratory. A giant blood globe sitting in the middle of the room, and the cage. What do you do, Zamir, Sir Jolden, and Roya?
Roya would go over to the cage.
Please don't take me. Please do not do it.
No, we are not with her. How long have you been here?
Perhaps 2 weeks. They brought me down when they fed the last slave who was here in the cage to that ball of blood, and then it turned into something else, and they walked through with her dead body, but it was horrible. Please don't do that to me.
And Roya would look back to Zamir and Sir Jolden. We would not do that. And the end sort of goes up in a question mark a little bit. We wouldn't do that.
Please, are you here to free me then?
Samir looks at Drusus at the question, trying to
Well, of
gauge
course.
his reaction.
There's a young lady in need of help. We must help her.
Okay. That's exactly what I thought. And so
one-
Roya's going to...
One moment. One moment.
Yes.
You're so You're so slow before, but now you are so quick. Young lady, are you saying that to open this sphere into what happens when it is fed a person? What is it?
That evil woman, Setenepre, and her guard, they took her over in front of that globe of blood, and they stripped her down. And then the priestess took a small knife, and she made 100 cuts in that poor girl's body. Not deep, and then the blood, instead of falling to the ground, it just started in small drops, flying across and striking that globe. And then it was a river of her blood until there was nothing left in her body. And then that globe turned into an arch of blood, and they dragged her corpse through it.
We should, so we need to make sacrifice in order to open the portal to get to where we need to go. Do you hear this, Drusus, Raya?
Actually, he probably wouldn't use their names.
But fortunately for this young lady, we have another option.
And he'll look towards where the high priestess is like over Drusus's shoulder.
You want to use the priestess?
Unless you are volunteering, my friend.
No, of course not. I'll sort of bring her towards the globe.
And for the first time, you can see she has an idea of where you're at, and she starts to struggle, and she's speaking into her gag.
Oh, you're awake, my dear. Are you willing to hear a word?
Zamir will put a dagger, he'll flourish it from nowhere, up to her throat, and he will ready an action. If anything, if so, once Drusus sort of lowers the gag, if there's any inkling that anything coming out of her mouth is some kind of attempt to sort of magically sway us, he will just bury it right into her throat as fast as possible. He wouldn't even hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like it. The gag comes down. She goes, "You don't have to do this. There are other ways to open the gate. The sacrifice of a slave is nothing. You should take the girl's life, and I will not even care. Just leave me here in this room. You can have whatever you find. Or if you're unwilling to do that, spare my life. And I will tell you this, instead of taking all of the blood from one person, you can take small amounts from several to open the gate. The gate simply must be sated on an amount of blood, not the life itself."
Is there some type of insight or something that we can?
Absolutely. There is, in fact, an insight skill. It will be, of course, resisted by her duplicity if she's trying to be duplicitous.
Shocker to no one. Insight is also not something that Roya is great at, but, thought I'd throw it out there as an idea.
Me either, so it sounds good to me.
I mean, Zamir is listening for a lie, so or anything. So I would definitely make a chance at the roll. Okay. So insight. Do we have any momentum?
You have 3 momentum at the moment.
All right, I'll use 2 of it to make the roll. And we don't know what the difficulty is. It's contested.
No, it's gonna be a struggle. So
yeah. So I'm just gonna roll it like that. Just 1 success. Ugh.
Okay. A little behind the screen here. She gets 2 successes, but a complication. So what I'm going to say is you're pretty sure that she's being honest, but there's something in her demeanor that slips a little bit, Zamir. And although you believe that she's being honest about this, she's definitely hiding something from you.
Okay. So if I read that part of it,
He will say, I will give you 1 opportunity, High Priestess. 1, and only 1. You are not being forthright. I suggest that you do this now. or we will proceed with the first option. One opportunity, High Priestess.
I have told you what you want to know. The gate can be opened with the blood of many or the blood of one.
He cuts her throat.
All right.
At that point.
So
he's an assassin.
And that's what you see. So you get the stunned look on her face, and her blood starts to gush out of her throat and strike the globe of blood before you. Sobek, what do? You're on the roof. You see before you a were-hyena and a large warrior with a black steel khopesh as they crest the roof.
I want to make eye contact with the were-hyena. And I am going to spam my spell that I continue to spam as I cast Gaze of Set.
Okay.
And based on how much momentum I get is what I will say. I will spend my final fortune point for the automatic 2 successes.
Okay. So
how much momentum do we have? Just one?
You got one momentum.
Yeah.
You had to go and spend that momentum, Jeff. All right. I will take the 1 momentum.
There was a much easier way for you to get to this party, by the way.
That is 5 successes total, including my fortune.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a little bit of doom because it seems.
Yeah, it seems appropriate.
Hold on, I'll do it in the block here. Okay. Six successes. You fail. And he comes at you. But he is at medium distance or long distance. So you have an opportunity before he closes in. And behind him, Axios is moving towards you as well. What do you want to do? Skylight's behind you. Death's in front of you.
I'll cast one more spell. Okay. The Glutton's Curse. This is the one that will make him start vomiting up baby snakes as he starts choking on them. This one, I believe, is not contested. So I just need to roll. It costs 2 resolve to cast. I could be wrong. It's Book of Skelos, page 105.
Let me check.
We are out of momentum, and I am out of fortune, so this is just a straight spell. I just spent the 1 momentum.
Oh, okay. All right.
How's your resolve looking, by the way?
I am at 6 out of 13.
Nice. 105. Let's see what we got going on here. I love the weird spells. Vomiting up little snakes is fantastic. Glutton's Curse.
As far as I can tell, it's just challenging difficulty 2. And then momentum after that, it can increase the duration. In addition to this, the victim must make a daunting resistance check or gain the staggered condition. I did roll and I got 3 successes.
Okay.
Which would pass the difficulty 2. And I would want to make it a violent display instead of extending the duration so that Axios has to make a challenging discipline test or also lose 3 resolve.
All right. I dig it. Okay. So the hyena first, you want to roll as the damage?
Yeah, sorry. That's a 3d6 there. And I don't remember exactly how damage works, but I got a 6, a 5, and a 4.
Okay, so you did 2 points of damage and 2 effects. I don't think there are any effects for this, though. So 2 points.
I don't think so either.
2 points of damage, not enough to give this guy a wound, but he is going to roll to see if he is staggered. That is a D3 resistance check.
Correct.
All right.
And then after casting the spell, I will continue to run.
Okay. I am not going to add to this, so he fails. So he is stunned. So the only way that he can take an action is if I spend doom. So you see this were hyena stop suddenly, grab his gut. His jaw distends, almost looking like it's going to break, and just bile and tiny snakes start spewing out.
Snake got your tongue?
Challenging D2 discipline check for Axios. So Axios sees this. At first he's confused, and then he sees the snakes and the vomits coming out. And then he looks and he screams, "Sorcerer!" And D2 discipline. Gets 2 successes, so he passes. So he sees this were hyena vomiting up snakes, and he basically just puts one hand on its hump and vaults over its back as he moves into engaged distance from you. But that's his whole turn getting there. So we'll be back to Sobek in a minute as combat starts. Zamir, Sir Jolden, Roya. The blood of the High Priestess drains completely out of her body. Her desiccated corpse is in Zamir's hands, and the globe of blood turns into an archway. Do you have the slave girl with you, or are you leaving her?
I think we should bring her with us. If she were to try to escape now, they will cut her down on her way out.
For sure. Come with me, young one. I'll sort of break whatever bars are unlocked the cage she's hiding in.
Yeah, it's a fairly easy latch system. You can get it open pretty quickly. And she immediately falls into your arms. "Oh, thank you, Sir Knight. My parents..." No, she's too young for that. But
Okay,
my parents will be so thankful. She's just terrified and clinging to somebody that she thinks is saving her life. So you're able to approach the arch, and as you push through it, you feel that resistance, that viscous feel. You can smell the copper, and it's almost like you're inhaling blood. But then you push through, and it's like a bubble breaking, and you're on the other side. You have no blood on you, standing on an elevated dais, looking across the room. In the middle of the room, you see what appears to be a statue of a great snake coiled around what looks like a bowl. And within the bowl are heaps of treasure and other goods. Back to Sobek. Players get to go first. I'm not going to spend the doom to seize the initiative. I'm going to let you do you.
How do I run away?
How do you run away? Okay, so withdrawing. Let's take a look. It's that standard action to withdraw. So you can withdraw. If you run away, though, he will get the opportunity to take a retaliatory strike at you.
He's going to get a strike on me either way.
Now, you can, if you use the withdraw action, you can prevent him from retaliating.
How would I do that?
It's a move action, so to just take your turn to move away from him.
Yeah, I don't plan on attacking or casting a spell, so everything I can do to get away from him is what I want to do.
Okay, so where are you headed, though?
Chimney.
Okay, so you run towards the chimney, you get to the lip of the chimney, and you start to go over. I'm going to give Axios a movement roll to see. If he succeeds, difficulty 1 movement roll, he's going to get there before you get down the chimney and take a swipe at you.
That's fair.
All right, I'm not going to spend any doom. I'm going to just let this rock and roll. Yeah, he gets 2 successes. So he gets to you and swings.
I'm still naked, so I don't think that I would have any protection.
No. Yeah, this could be rough. So I will take that 1 point of momentum that he made, and I will give that to him, and we'll see how he does here. Ooh, 3 successes. So he only needed the 1, so that's +2. So we're gonna go ahead and do some damage here. We're just going to use those 2 momentum for additional damage. We're not going to spend anything else, but I do need to take a quick look as soon as I roll this. Holy shite. Man. 9 damage and 6 effects to the head. I need to actually look at the Black Steel Kopesh really quick.
This might be the end of Sobek, y'all.
Vicious 1. And got 6
gosh.
effects, so 15 damage. You're not wearing any armor, so the piercing doesn't matter. But so I will say this though, he's trying to capture you. So you take 3 wounds. How much vigor do you have?
I had 7.
Okay, so you take 4 wounds. And you're unconscious.
Right back where I started.
Indeed. And we find ourselves back in the treasure vault of Setenepre. Probably, you would assume, beneath the obelisk.
And I do have her body. I did, because I remember that was part of the story. So I did bring her body with us.
Okay. So when you actually get through, you see at the bottom of the dais just a field of skeletons, probably from the desiccated corpses that were brought through.
I'll bring up the bracelets from Sir Gaius, see if that has any attraction.
You're almost pulled off your feet by the pull of this brazier towards that bowl. And you can see actually in that pile of treasure, something is causing coins and jewels to quiver. You think the torque is literally trying to pull itself free to be reunited with the brazier.
This is it.
Be very careful.
Zamir is extremely suspicious of what appears to be a giant snake statue. And he wants to study it for a moment, just make sure, because he is probably, having spent his time in Zamora, heard of giant snakes, seen perhaps 1 or 2, and just wants to make sure that this thing is in fact immobile and is not moving. So he just wants to kind of look at it, see very carefully before getting any closer.
Give me an observation check.
All right. I will use that last momentum. Is there a difficulty for this?
Nope, just difficulty 1.
Okay. Okay, that's 4 successes.
Okay, so you bank your 3 momentum, and you see the scales rustle a little bit.
Oh, God.
And you figure it appears to be asleep, but it's got to at least be 25 feet long. And the width of it is about the size of a keg barrel in width.
Zamiro very quickly turn to the 2 of them and just put a finger to his lips, and then he will point at the at the scales kind of moving as best he can.
It is alive.
He'll whisper.
Mm-hmm.
I will try stay near the blood gate. I will try to retrieve the item quietly and carefully. For the love of all that is good in this world, Roya, please do not follow me.
So, as one would expect, the doom ticks up by 3 as Zamir is going to make his... Now, you're at long distance now, so it's going to take you 2 rounds to move up to the point where you could then crawl across the snake to get to the bowl of treasure that is within the center of its coils.
Okay. What do you want me to roll for this? Do you want me to? Is it stealth? Is it?
It is in fact stealth.
Oh,
I mean, you can go survival, but you can definitely go stealth.
I think
I
we
figure you want to go stealth.
Probably gonna go stealth. Is there
Now,
is
I
there
will tell you this.
difficulty or contest?
This is a struggle against the snake's senses.
Oh god. Okay. I am going to for the first one. I'm going to spend a fortune for a dice purchase, and then I will spend another momentum of the 3 we have, and I will roll that. Right. So there's a total of 6 successes.
Nice. Since you're still at long range, I'm not going to spend any doom to up the dice on this because you're pretty far away. So we'll go ahead and see. As you move towards medium range, yeah, you succeed. You succeed. The snake does not seem to rustle at all. Okay. As you slowly, stealthily make your way into medium range. Give me an observation check.
Oh gosh. All right.
Difficulty 3.
Oh god. I'll burn 3 momentum. Sorry, I didn't change the difficulty. 6 successes again.
All right, so you're up to full momentum. What you notice is as you're moving out of this long range, so this further area back, they were just very well-made paving stones, but you start to cross the line and you see the floor is laid out in a mosaic of intertwining serpent patterns of various colors, and it seems to be important. And I'll let you ponder that for a second while I ask Sir Jolden and Roya if there's anything they'd like to do.
I will sort of be on the ready if this snake wakes up at all. I'll strike it.
Are you still holding the teenage rescued slave girl?
I'll sort of set her here. It's way by the blood arc.
Okay. Roya, give me an observation check. Difficulty 1.
I'll take one of the momentum. One success.
Nice. The girl is starting to hyperventilate, and you could just hear her starting to say, no, 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 no. And it's slowly getting louder. Sobek, you find yourself conscious again as you're being drugged by your heels across the floor. You hear and see partygoers all around you. And then you see the face of Zoyos looking down from over you. We were going to bring you to the party ourselves. I appreciate your interest in my art. Don't worry, you have a little bit of time before, well, Axios here will keep you company, but we'll make sure we keep your eyes covered. And your hands are tied behind your back, and a blindfold is put over your eyes. But Axios puts an arm over your shoulder, and he's like, that was a good try. You almost made it. Would you like a drink?
I am a bit parched. Why not?
He goes over and he sits you down in a chair. You can't tell who else is around you. And he goes off. You hear him walk off. And then you hear a whispered voice behind your ear. You're not a follower of Set, at least not how these people are followers of Set, are you?
I love Set as the one true god he is, Set Sobek.
Well, I follow an altogether different god. One with 8 legs and an interest in seeing Set, not Set Sobek, brought low. Would you be interested in, say, having me release your bonds?
I'm not interested in your god, but I would always be interested in having my bonds freed.
Well, perhaps we can make a deal.
And what can I offer you in this deal?
It won't be anything far too difficult for you. That priest torturer, Zoyos, he has offended Zehud. If I loosen your bonds and place a small medallion in your hand, all you need do is press it against his body and walk away, and we will consider our debt paid.
Well, Zoyos and I had become quite fast friends, but I suppose I could be persuaded.
And you feel it feels like a small figurine placed in your hands, and your bonds come loose. We've distracted your caretaker momentarily. Well, one of the followers of Zehud has. You have a few moments, if you're quick. And speaking of quick, we find ourselves back with Zamir standing above a field of intertwining tiles in the shape of snakes.
Oh goodness. He is not. I know this is surprising to learn, but Samir is not book learned. He is not what you might call smart in that regard. But I would say perhaps his instincts are kicking in, his thief instincts kicking in, that these are trapped in some kind, could cause some trouble in some particular way. Is there any role he might be able to make to maybe deduce a pattern, one that might either point to something dangerous or point to something a path of safety?
Absolutely. One question I though have first, Roya, when you were explaining to Zamir what happened in the temple, did you tell him of the serpentine pathway through the corridor? Would you have told him of that?
I think it's reasonable that I would have.
I think so too. So, because you've recently heard this, you can make either a survival or a thievery check. Difficulty 3 to recall what Roya told you and then piece together what that means for you.
That would have been a perfect time for you to get me back for how much I've been teasing you tonight. But
no, definitely, that. I would not have told him that.
Yeah,
not at all.
I don't really like him that much, so I probably wouldn't have. I'm gonna spend 3 momentum to see if I get this. And you said thievery. I can roll thievery, right?
Thievery, you can. Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Because it is a sort of trap.
Oh goodness, that's a complication. Oh, it's 2 complications, but 4 successes. Holy crap, what a crazy roll.
2 complications, but 4 successes. All right, so you succeed, and you realize and recognize that as long as you are moving along the certain serpents, the golden color ones, the sound of sand will not be heard. However, while you were figuring that out, your foot did slip over the line, and you hear shh, 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 and you see the snake start to move a little. It doesn't appear to be awake, but maybe it's more awake than it was a moment ago. But you're in medium range at this point.
Zamir will look to Drusus and try to communicate with his eyes. He'll even toss his hair back for a second so you can see his whole face. Zamir's eyes are wide, and he's looking kind of over towards the snake. Do we see his head?
You do. Its head's coiled towards the top, and it's coiled in towards the giant bowl of treasure. So you do see it. And you see that tongue flicker out every once in a while, now more than it was before, but the eyes are still hooded and closed.
Right, so he'll just do the classic kind of look and kind of point just to make sure Drusus is seeing what Zamir is seeing.
Yeah, he looks over at me, and I'm already sword in hand, sort of my head tracking the snake as it moves.
Okay. Now, you are currently at long range, so if it does enter into combat, it will take you 2 rounds to get there. However, you could potentially move to medium range, but you would have to make a stealth check.
Yeah, I'll slowly inch closer just in case something happens.
All right, give me a stealth check. Against...
Can we say that we sort of pass off the girl that we rescued? Because she had been kind of hanging out over by Sir Jolden. Can we say that we kind of pass her off
Yeah, he
so that Roya kind of puts her arm around her.
Yeah, he put her down. Now she is getting more frantic, so you're going to have to deal with her in a second. But go ahead and give me that stealth check, Sir
I have a plan.
Jolden. I love it.
I'll go ahead and use a fortune here for the bonus.
Okay, I dig it.
Total 2 successes.
All right, let's see what the snake does with that now that it's a little more awake. Oh, 4 successes. So, Zamir, you see Sir Drusus, he's trying so hard to be so quiet. He's actually pretty quiet. You've more quiet than you've ever seen him move.
Sure.
But there's just enough noise.
Oh, goodness.
And you hear the rattle of the bowl, and you see the snake's head arch up and look down at all of you. The girl, the slave girl, screams in terror. And let's go back to Sobek.
We don't have to. We can wait till the next session when I get my fortune points back.
No, you're back. You're back in it now. So you've got this figurine in your hand. Your binds have been removed from your hands. There's no one around you that is guarding you directly that you can tell. What do?
I would try to sneak up a hand to just pull the eye bandages away so that I can see a little bit.
Yep.
And I just want to see if I can see Axios or Zoyos.
You do see Axios. He's over by the table getting drinks, but there are 2 very attractive young women and a very attractive young man that are doing their best to distract him, and they are succeeding. You also do see Zoyos, and he's speaking with another temple functionary. And you overhear kind of in a little bit of a heated discussion. What do you mean Setenepre is not done with her champion? It is almost time for my art. And they seem to be in a very heated discussion.
I rolled for this. I'm running towards Axios with the medallion.
Towards Axios with the medallion. Not Zoyos.
Not Zoyos.
All right. I like it. Okay, so you're at long range. You're running towards Axios. We'll see how that goes here in a minute. So we're going to go back, and we find Zamir at medium range to a giant snake. We find Sir Juices Jolden also succeeded, so he moved into medium range. So he's basically just a step behind you. Roya is still up on the elevated dais, and we're in combat. What do?
God. So Drusus, so am I engaged with him, or how far away am I technically from the snake? Because I know sort of
you're within medium range, so you can move into engagement with your move action.
Okay. If it's awake,
or you can try to hide from it because it's staring at Sir Jolden. It heard him.
Oh, if that's the case, if we're in combat, I'll let Drusus go first then.
Okay.
Yeah. Because unless he spends doom long, we go first. So you can, and we can go whatever order we want.
Gotcha. If I move any closer, will I be setting off the traps, or were those like noise traps?
Those were noise traps. You think that based on what Roy had told you before, they seem to just be noise traps.
Then I'll go ahead and run as far as I can to get engaged.
Okay, you could take your move action and get into engaged and still take an attack this round if you'd like.
And I'll just swing at its scales with my broadsword.
Okay, now what's the reach on your broadsword? It's probably 2, but
it's 2.
Okay, so you and the snake in its coiled configuration have the same reach, so the difficulty is just 1 for you, but it will be trying to stop you. So it will spend 1 doom to defend itself. Roll your broadsword.
Got 2 successes, but I think my talent allows me to reroll here.
Okay.
I can reroll any number of dice. Wait a second. I don't remember how this works. Since my melee is 4, is it always 2 dice? Or would
Yeah,
it have been 4?
You always roll 2 dice. You can buy additional dice with momentum. So
What is
the melee 4 is part of your target number, and then if you roll beneath a 4 for your
I see.
melee, you get
Okay.
2 successes.
Yes, it should be good enough.
Okay.
With the momentum.
So it will it rears up, and one of its coils comes out to defend itself. I'm not going to spend any doom for additional dice. Let's just see how we do here. This first time, it gets 3 successes, so builds. You got 2 successes, so it defended itself. So as your sword comes around, this coil just kind of slams you in the stomach, and you fall back a little bit, and the flat of your blade just kind of scrapes across a scale. Zamir, Roya.
Has Zamir been noticed yet? You think
He has not? Well, you don't appear to have been noticed. Its eyes are focused. It tracked on what drew its attention.
Okay. So, I'm so torn between just kind of going and trying to grab the thing and getting out, or trying to help. Yeah. Okay. I think if Zamir hasn't been noticed, he's going to try to take this opportunity to get the torque. The other is a torque, right? I keep thinking it's a torque.
That is correct.
He's going to try to grab the torque because he's at medium range, I think. So I think I should be able to get there. I can roll another stealth or whatever you want me to roll, but he's going to try to get there and grab the thing so that if we need to flee, we can flee with item in hand.
Okay. I think what we're going to need to see here, not a stealth check, but because you're having to climb over its coils to get into it, I think we're going to need an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Or an athletics check, difficulty 3, because these coils are moving and whatnot. So you're having to scale over a moving giant snake.
All right. I'll do acrobatics. So I will try to flash back to when we started this, as he very easily parkoured up the side of a wall. So he's kind of doing that same thing across the scales of the snake with surprisingly soft feet. At least that's his goal. I'm going to spend 2 momentum, and he's going to try to maybe kind of flip over and get on top of the pedestal itself. So sorry, I got to stop doing it that way. There we go. So 2, difficulty 3, you said?
Difficulty 3.
All right, let's do it. All right, 4 successes.
All right. Yeah. So you're able to, you do exactly that. You're running across the scales, you're jumping, you're flipping. You can't even tell if the snake notices you. You're so agile in it. And you flip into up into the giant bowl of treasure. But that's going to be your whole turn. Roya.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so Roya kind of has her arm around this girl, kind of trying to kind of quiet her down. So she has kind of on her some calming herbs and perfumes. And so what I would like to roll is counsel.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a talent of quiet wisdom where I can reroll any dice that don't generate a success on the initial roll.
Wonderful. I like it. So you're pulling these herbs and everything out, and you're giving them to the girl, and let's see how we do.
Let's indeed. Do we have momentum?
You've got 4 momentum at the moment.
All right, I'll take 1. Those. That is 3 successes.
Okay. So your momentum is back up to 5, and you give her this. You're speaking with her. You're talking really calmly with her, and she immediately begins to settle down and almost falls into a stupor. You figure she's exhausted. She's been under so much stress, and she's limp in your arms at this point.
Okay, and she's going to stay put for now.
Okay.
She's just going to kind of watch what's happening and kind of stay put.
Then that brings us back to the Guardian Serpent. A little behind the screen, it is a Dread Creature 3, so on every one of its actions, I get 3 points of doom in addition to what I already have to spend. And it is going to enact an ability it has called the Gaze of Set, not to be confused with the spell. but it's staring. These giant serpent eyes, the size of plates, are staring at you, Sir Jordan. And you feel this terror washing into your bowels, knowing that it just sees you as a meal. So what I need you to do is roll a resistance check against this mental attack. And I am going to spend the 3 points of doom that I just got from being a dread creature on dice.
Gaze of Set. I know that spell.
Resistance
Wow.
of 1. I can reroll any failures with my hardy talents.
You actually don't need to, because you succeeded. He only got 1 success.
Wow.
All right.
Wow, that's terrible for him. But
Who would have thought snakes have low personality and social?
I know, right? It's crazy. So it gazes at you, but the fear that you feel it in your gut for a second, but then you realize that this is just another creature to fall beneath your blade, and you're unaffected by it. However, for its move action, it coils tighter around the bowl. Sobek, you're running towards Axios. So are you trying to do this stealthily, or are you just running straight at him?
Anything that requires a roll, I'm going to fail. So I suppose just running straight at him and just slapping him.
Okay, so that is going to be an attack. So it's a melee attack, and he can see you coming as you're charging through the crowd. So he will get an opportunity to try to parry that.
Okay, that's not going to work well for me. How do I roll for that?
It's 2
just
dice.
Melee?
Yeah, it's just melee. Just 2 dice. You want to get under.
I'm not going to be able to pass anyways because I've got 4 wounds. So even if I roll 2 successes, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got to get 4 successes at a minimum.
Yeah, so -3 successes.
All right. Let's see how he does. Better than -3? Yes, he gets 3 successes. So he sees you coming. He gets a weird look on his face. And as you're reaching out, he just backhands your hand away, and you're unable to make contact with his body.
No, I just wanted to give this to you.
And you see the Khopesh come up, and it's not the flat of the blade you're looking at the moment. Back to Zamir, Sir Jolden, and Roya, and the snake. It's your turn. Top of a new round.
You said it was coiling around the bowl that I just jumped in?
Dove into, yes.
Okay. All right. Do I... Okay. You mind if I go first this time? Well,
Yeah, go for it.
so I would like to, because I don't want to like get crushed or something inside of it. I would like to grab, look to see if I can find this torque. It was presumably described to us, I think, from I can't remember his name. I'd have to check my notes.
Give me a... Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say, give me a difficulty 0 observation check. I want to see what all you see.
Okay.
And the more successes is going to be more information here.
I'll take a momentum for this just to see if we can get some extra stuff. All right. Difficulty 0. 3 successes.
Okay, so you easily see the torque in front of you. You also see, in addition to gold and jewels that may be difficult to carry, you see a very an interesting looking shield that appears to be made of some sort of, it looks silvery, but it's also sparkling. Like there's inlaid crystal in it, perhaps. And right on top of the shield, you see a black bladed dagger with no sheath.
A dagger, you say? Okay.
And an obsidian scroll case capped in silver.
All right. Oh, man. How far away from me is Drusus?
I mean, he's about 25 feet, but he's down. Like you're elevated now, so he's down at the base of these coils, dancing around with the serpent. You're in medium range, so you could get there in one action.
Well, what I was thinking is, I mean, I don't know. You tell me action economy on this. Like, obviously, the things you pointed out, the torque, the dagger, the shield, the scroll case, he's very interested in grabbing. The shield seems the most bulky of all of that. And in my head, I want to have Zamir kind of just sort of whistle down to Drusus and try to like frisbee the shield down as best he can, if it's possible to do that.
Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. You can pick the shield up and throw it at him, or throw it down towards him. You give me an acrobatics or athletics check to see how well the throw goes, and we'll see where it lands.
Difficulty on this?
Just one. Just difficulty 1.
All right, I won't pull anything extra. I got it. Ooh, that was close.
Okay, so the shield, Sir Joel, you hear him whistle at you, and you glance up as you see this silver shield skip across the scales of the snake's body and basically come up right under your right toe.
Nice.
And it is your turn.
Go and just pick it up and wield it.
Okay, so your fast action is to pick the shield up. Your mano-a-mano against a giant snake. What do you do?
I'll shake off its previous gaze at me and try to focus on it again. I'll goose 2 momentum on my melee attack here.
Okay.
Three success this time.
And only 1 success. So you get a net of 2 momentum on that, and you hit. So roll damage.
Ends up with the 6 physical damage.
All right, 6 physical damage. Is there any pairing? And okay, so 6 damage. So its armor is 4. So you chip into these scales, and it's harder than you think, but you manage to wedge under one and get the blade in. And as you pull out, you have serpent's blood on your blade, but you think it was probably not much more than a scratch at this point. But
really
first
quick,
blood, yes.
Really quick, Drusus, you can re-roll one of those effects die because you do have no mercy. You have 1
that's
melee,
right.
So you can potentially get
yeah.
slightly more. Yeah.
Good point.
We
Thank you.
also have a ton of audience dice for effects.
Right. We were using the effects
yep.
die for. That's right.
That is fair. But you can only add up to 3 damage dice on any one attack. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Gotcha.
Yeah, rerolled the 1 and just give me an extra damage.
Nice.
Okay. So it does a total of 3 points of damage to this to the giant serpent, and it hisses and the coils tighten. But before I can do anything, Roya, you're up.
Okay. So I have a dagger. And I don't necessarily know, like, range band, what I can do with that dagger.
You would not be able to throw it from here. You'd have to get into medium range to really effectively throw it.
Okay. Let's do that. I will look down and I will see that she seems to be you almost imagine she's just sort of like rocking a little bit, but she's definitely quieted down and kind of so then I'll just kind of pat her on the shoulder, and then we'll run up to medium.
I like it. So yeah, you come down off the dais, you're in medium range. You see Sir Drusus slashing at it, you see Zamir up in the treasure. What do you do?
So I am going to give it a shot once to attack with this dagger.
It'll be a ranged attack. I'm assuming you're throwing it.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yep. So a ranged attack.
So agility melee.
Agility ranged. It's not agility. It's coordination.
Okay. It's sort of just what the sheet gave me.
Yeah, normally with a dagger, it's melee agility, but since you're throwing it, it's ranged coordination.
Sorry, looking at my sheet,
No,
Okay,
take your time.
there it is. Ranged. 7. Sorry, let me try to do this roll again. Sorry.
You're
Slowing
fine.
down.
You have a
Trying to
target
skill.
number of 7 for ranged. So you're ranged. You have no expertise or focus, and a target number of 7 for range.
Okay. And then I have momentum so that I can take an extra.
Absolutely.
That's an 8 and a 13 and a 18. So Roya comes up and she's determined face. She, kind of pulls this dagger off of her belt and, just kind of pulls it back and throws it. And it spin.
So Zamir, you look past, you see this dagger come flying past your face over the snake and towards the backside of the room. And then
He shakes
the
his head at
snake-
her. She's going to be the death of me, he says to himself.
And then the snake attempts to bite Sir Drusus Jolden. Now, you can resist this with a parry if you would like. I strongly recommend it.
Yes, I will parry with the new shield I got.
Don't forget, you still have some fortune. There's plenty of momentum.
And parry, a shield has an automatic parry. So let me tell you about this shield real quick first. Actually, if you go in to the treasure section, and I'll drop this on your character sheet a little bit later. It's called the Zephyr's Shield. It has the knockdown and stun capabilities if you use it as a weapon. It has shield 4, so that gives you 4 dice of cover as long as you know the attack is coming. And it obviously has the parrying ability. Now in Conan, the parrying ability means that you can attempt to parry, and the first time you parry does not cost you any doom. If you had to parry a second time, at that point, it would cost you 1 point of doom. Normally, if you're parrying without something that has the parry trait, any attempt to resist the damage would cost you 1 doom to even make the attempt. I've given myself back my 3 points of doom for the round for being a dread creature, so I'm going to go ahead and spend that. And you see this giant snake's maw open and lunge for you, Sir Jolden. You get 7 successes.
Go ahead and parry with the shield. I'll use my last fortune and 2 momentum for
Take it all.
5 dice.
Take all. Okay, as long as you get all the way up to 5
for
dice. Yeah,
max.
for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Okay, 3 successes. And I got 7 successes, so I net 4 successes. So the bite lands on Sir Drusus. This huge viper's maw closes around you. Let's do some damage here. Go ahead and take that 3 bonus dice for the bite. Okay, so that's 11 physical damage. 5 effects, so that's piercing 5. So how much armor do you have?
I'm
Actually,
not
you're
wearing
in
any. I'm
close.
still shirtless.
But you've got a shield. So roll 4 effect dice and see how many what total you get on that, because the shield can block. So 4d6.
Okay. Is that shield soak or is that something different?
What's that?
There's just shield soak roll on the shield. I don't know if
Oh
it's
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah, you can use that. You can use that.
Are these effects die? Can you use audience dice for this?
Yeah.
I didn't know what you
Yeah,
decided.
I like it. You can use up to 3 audience dice on this if you want. So you could roll 7 total shield soak dice if you wish.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Because I feel nice.
We're about to eat them.
Given the state of things, sure.
Seven soak.
All right, 7 soak. That's fantastic. So you only take 4 points of vigor. Not even enough to give you a wound as you put this shield up. And I mean, you feel it get slammed back into your body, and you feel the upper jaw of the snake just slam into your up into your shoulder, and you feel something pop. It doesn't break, but it pops. But because your shield's in the way, the serpent isn't able to close its mouth. However, the venom seeps in. So it's persistent 3, and I got 5 effects. So for 3 rounds, I will roll 5 effect dice to see how much additional damage you take from the poison. And you're stunned unless you give me doom equal to the amount of effects I rolled. You will be stunned.
Got it.
Okay.
He has so much doom. Just give it to him.
Yeah, it makes no difference. 20, 30. It's the same.
In addition, the coils of the serpent start to wind around you, and you will be grappled unless you give me doom equal to the amount of effects rolled. You might as well just give it to me at this point. It's
You
not
really should. You gotta run, dude. You can't get stunned. You can't get grappled.
Yeah.
You gotta run.
Okay, so you're able to slip out of the coil somehow as this thing starts to coil around your body. With the shield still on your arm, but the poison, you can feel it starting to course through your body. It's getting harder to breathe. It's getting harder to see. You feel something almost like you're vomiting something up into the back of your throat. Sobek. You've got a very angry Axios in front of you with a blade. A black steel kopesh, but you get to go first, or you get to do what you want to do before he's going to do what he wants to do.
No, I just wanted to hand this to you. I don't think I could actually run, and I definitely can't hit him. So I'm just gonna try to hand him the medallion.
All
and
right.
maybe like try to palm it into his palm.
Let's give me a persuade check, and he will attempt to resist that with his social, trying to figure out what the hell it is you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to. Even if I gave you a bunch of doom, I still wouldn't be able to pass it. So I'll just roll it and hope for no complication. No complication, but only -3 successes.
Well, I mean, how many net successes did you get, not including your wounds? Because you're physically
One success
wounded.
with the 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're physically wounded, and this really isn't a physical thing. So it doesn't feel right for me to penalize you for that. So you got 1 success. Let's see how he does. I'm not going to spend any doom on this. We're just going to roll and see how he does.
He's taunting you.
I am taunting you. Got 3 successes. So he looks at your hand and he smacks the spider medallion out of your hand, and it goes skittering across the floor. He's like, "It looks like you don't get a drink after all. Do you want to sit down and get tied back up, or do you want me to beat you down?"
I suppose you can go ahead and beat me down.
Okay. He lifts the pommel of his black steel kopish to smack across your head. Do you want to try to resist this with a parry?
I won't be able to. No.
Okay. He almost
Get out of my
looks like
misery here.
almost feels like he feels
More
pity
momentum.
for you. But yeah, he gets 2 successes, so he gets 1 more point of doom, and yeah, he knocks you out. I'm just gonna say he knocks you back down, drags you back to the chair, and ties you back up. We find ourselves back with Zamir, Jolden, and Roya, and a giant snake, and it's the top of round 3. You're sitting on 4 doom. I'm sitting on 38. I'm sitting on 38 doom. You're sitting on 4 momentum. What do you want to do?
I think we should run. But Drusus, you're in the most danger currently, so if you want to go first, please do. Running, though, seems like a good plan.
Yeah. I'll see Zamir's pretty much in the bowl. Hopefully he's got the treasure. So I'll withdraw
Okay, so you're going to withdraw back to medium range. We'll see how good that is for you. So you see Sir Drusus start to pull back. Zamir, Roya, what do you do?
Do I get the sense that the snake knows that I'm in the bowl, or is it just sort of reacting instinctively to the fact that there's
Give me either an insight or an observation check. Difficulty 1.
Okay, I'll do observation. I'll grab a momentum. Difficulty 1. Let's see what we got. That's 2 successes. So I will.
You're pretty sure it's aware that you're there. The shield skipping across its scales was probably the dead giveaway.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Well, if that's the case, oh goodness. What's up? Like how is there like I know I'm on a pedestal. It's a little bit higher. Mm-hmm. Is there anything upwards or?
The cavern ceiling. I mean, it looks like just a rough cavern ceiling is about 15 feet above you.
Okay, so there's probably no way out that way. Okay.
You do see, I mean, you also do see, though, in lower areas around the caves, looks like tunnels large enough for the snake to get in and out of. So you assume that's how it makes its way into the underground or into the sewer systems. But
yeah, but we need to get back out through that gate that we opened. So
real quick, while you're considering that, welcome in Raiders DOTV podcast.
Oh, welcome, Raiders.
Thank you very much. You're about to see 3 people get killed by a giant snake. No, I'm sorry, 4 people. We have an NPC with us. Okay. Zamir wants to sort of kind of leap off the pedestal, like almost like swan dive. He wants to tumble in the air, and he wants to sort of Fred Flintstone down part of the snake as he tries to essentially withdraw, run away. At this point, we're just fleeing.
So, what else are you picking anything else up from the treasure?
Oh yeah, I wanted to pick up. So yeah, you tell me how many like action economy. I really obviously the torque, the dagger, and the torque, dagger, scroll is my order of importance.
You can with your slow action pick up all 3 of those. I mean they're right there, and then with your fast action you can take a movement action.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. Give me a difficulty 3 acrobatics check as you go flinging yourself off this snake.
All right, I will go ahead and use difficulty 3. Is it? All right,
yep,
I'm going to use
3.
I'm going to use 3 momentum and see what we do. And I got it. 3 successes.
Okay, so you slide down the coils of the snake, and you're at the base. Sir Jolden has just pulled away. You're still within medium range. You're both still within medium range of it. Roya, you see Zamir come flying out of this treasure dish, slide down the coils of the snake, and both he and Sir Jolden are moving away from it. You are also at medium range, so they're coming right at you. What would you do?
Roya would like to go backward to the girl that we rescued, and she would like to, I'm thinking maybe athletics or something to try to kind of hoist her up and just sort of lead the escape.
Okay, so you're able to easily move back into long range, back up to the dais and grab the girl, get her back on her feet, and that is your action. Taking us back to Sobek. Sobek, you're tied back in the chair. What do you do?
I'm still unconscious, aren't I?
No, he just rattled your cage a little bit. He didn't knock you out. He just kind of dazed you and then pulled you back over to the chair. After all, you're supposed to be relatively conscious for your torture session.
Yeah, I suppose I'm just waiting for my torture session and for hopefully Zamir, Roya, and Sir Drusus, my bestest friends who love me very much, to come save me.
All right. Once again, behind your shoulder, you hear this whisper. You made a very poor choice. It would have been so easy for you to do what we asked of you to do and slip away into the crowd. It is a terrible shame. May the spider wrap you in its webs and drink the fluids of your body. And then whoever that was slips away. You got any fortune? You don't have any fortune left, do you, Sobek?
No, I'm out.
Okay.
Can we donate a fortune?
You
I don't
can
have any fortune
spend.
left either. Actually,
can
I don't have
spend-
a lot of fortune.
I think this was a good thing we did in another game. You can spend 10 audience dice to replenish 1 fortune point.
We have
look at-
20. So if you would like to spend 10, Stephen.
Man, Aaron's being so nice. We are. There's probably. Oh, this is,
That is a
so
great
suspicious.
offer, but I'm not sure the fortune. I would have to use it to just wipe out my wounds, and I still wouldn't be able to do. I'd just be able to cast a spell, and I'm not sure how well I
remember-
can actually cast it without a fortune, anyways.
You can also spend fortune to introduce a new truth to the story. That can't be huge, but it could be something. You don't have to. I'm
gonna wait for now.
Remind. Okay.
Or you could take all 20 that we have and have 2 fortune and do a thing.
I got to think about it. Think about what I would do.
I like it. Top of round 4. I'm going to spend 1 point of doom and seize the initiative.
that's fair.
You see the snake lurch up and its coils come slamming down towards Zamir and Sir Jolden in this horrible slam. You guys can. Now, this is technically like a ranged attack, so you have to use acrobatics to get out of the way of it, as opposed to parry. But since I've got a wicked amount of doom, I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 to up my dice here a little bit. Are you ready?
Go for it. Oh God.
6 successes.
Okay. Drusus?
Is athletics free or acrobatics free? Does it help in any way?
No, that just means that's part of your target number. So it's your acrobatics plus your agility will give you your total target number, and then you roll 2 dice below it. Or you can give me some doom to roll additional dice, or if you have fortune, you can, spend a fortune point to make one of those an automatic 1.
Here. I'm gonna go first. I am going to. I'll roll first, because then maybe you get some stuff from me. I'm gonna spend my last fortune. And then I am going to, let's see. I'm going to give you 2 doom to get a couple more dice. And then I'm going to roll and hope for the best. I did in fact get 6 successes.
Oh my God. So what this looks like is this giant serpent's coils come slamming down, and Zamir goes back to his parkour, literally jumps up above the coil of the snake, and as it's coming down, runs off the top of his head and dives forward into a roll without messing his hair up.
Exactly.
Sir Jolden,
Drusus.
I'll try to replicate Zamir here. Spend all the momentum he just gained, or 3 of them at least.
he
I
gained
didn't
no
actually
momentum.
gain any.
Oh, you didn't get any.
Because I needed a difficulty of 6. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll spend the
Also,
1 we
that's
have and
crits.
give Aaron 2 doom.
I like it.
you can do this.
You can do it. 6 successes, it's nothing.
Yeah, I just need all successes under 13. Oh, I got 5.
So
That's pretty good.
close. So close. So
Wow.
Oh God.
I mean, that was a thing of beauty. I'm not
I
gonna
was
lie.
hoping that 3. I was hoping you had a high enough focus for that 3 to be a crit. Oh
Yeah.
man.
But you do get, so you almost make it. You're almost clear, but you do get caught by the coils. And I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 of those momentum that I earned on some damage. Well, that's not too bad. So, 5 physical damage. You're not wearing any armor, but you do have your shield, and it does have parry. So you can roll your 4 soak dice from your shield and see if you're able to reduce that 5 physical damage.
We do have audience stuff long. I'll forget.
4
You're
soak.
fine. 4 soaks. You take
He
1
doesn't
point of
need it.
damage as this coil slams down on you. You take 1 point of vigor. However, it does start to coil around you. So once again, you're going to have to give me 2 points of doom to step out of this grapple if you want to avoid it.
Yeah, have my doom.
All right. Now, I'm going to spend 2 of those doom to take a second standard action with my big snake. And he is going to bite out at No, he's going to bite out at Zamir. He just ran off his nose, so he's going to bite at
Roy
Zamir.
is there too. You know, I just
She's at long range. You guys are
okay.
So we're gonna see how this goes. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
I think he's going to one-shot me.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, he's definitely going to one-shot me.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not. But this is, he's reacting to this. So he's got 1. He's got to get. It's a difficulty 2 for him to even hit.
Can I point out that I think there's something fundamentally broken about a game in which you have 42 doom? Like, what? I don't understand how you have 42 doom. Like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't.
It's the whole grappling and persistent damage thing. That's how you. I mean, you could instead just be grappled and break out of the grapple instead of giving me doom.
You haven't gone below 20 doom in like a month, so I think there's something up with doom generation in this game.
But I rarely use it to its full effect.
Oh, I know. That's why I've been saying to Melissa, I'm like, he's being very nice to us, actually.
Yeah.
But I do get 3 successes on the bite.
Oh,
so you have to parry that.
All right. Well, I did just pick up this black dagger.
Let me tell you about that black dagger if you're going to use it here. I don't know if it has parry or not. The Fang of Set does have parry, so you do not have to give me any doom to try to parry this.
Okay. Well, the bright side is I get to roll my stealth, I believe. Actually, no, wait, this is parry, right? Hang on. Yeah, parry is a different skill. Sorry. Yeah, this is no good news here. There's not good news here. Let's see.
But you won't. Now, I had to get 2 successes to hit you, so I only netted 1 success. So if you get 1 success, you successfully parry.
I'll use that momentum there, because I don't have great parry. All right. Well, I mean, and you know what? Because you have 42 doom, and what the hell? It's like ridiculous. You could have 2 more. I'll roll 5.
Exactly.
Here you go.
Absurd.
I agree.
It's 3 successes.
You did it.
2 momentum for us, I think.
So you whip this dagger out, and you slice it across the snout of this snake. Not deep enough to even break the scales, but enough to cause it to jerk its head back. And you're able to dodge out of the way. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a little bit of doom right now. I'm going to spend 10 doom. And the blood portal behind you closes. And that's what we're going to call it for tonight.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, that's Stephen. You've got time to come up with something very fantastic.
I think I actually came up with
do.
something now, but I'm gonna appreciate the 2 weeks to brainstorm more.
So in 2 weeks we'll come back. We'll see how our friends do against a giant snake now that they're trapped in its room with very few ways out. But I mean, there's always the chance they can open the portal again. They just need a sacrifice and enough time to do it, or they can head into the underground. While Sobek may get an opportunity to become a piece of an art under the hands of the priest torturer Zoyos, unless he can come up with a plan to get away that doesn't involve smacking the chief bodyguard of Setanepre, all while praying nobody realizes that Setanepre has been kidnapped and murdered. I really appreciate everybody joining in with us tonight. I really appreciate Jeff and Adventures in Lollygagging for allowing me to run this game. It's probably my last time running it, since they're all going to kick me off the channel now that most of them are close to death, but hopefully not. Jeff, I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Yeah. All right. Most certainly. We're fine. There's tunnels. We're gonna be fine. We'll just Drusus is basically dead already, so we'll just sacrifice him, and then Roya, myself, and the young girl will get away. It seems fine. He's a knight.
Plan.
He's heroic.
He's tough. He can take it. A little
let's
death
see.
isn't going to hurt him.
Of course not. So tomorrow we've got One Ring. So you can see all of us, but Aaron in that game. We also introduced our new party member. Maitre has joined us for that as well, as the fellowship has grown. Monday we are back to Holler. We have a very special event starting on Monday for Holler for the next couple of sessions of Holler. Tracy Sizemore from Holler fame, one of the creators of, and publishers of Holler, is going to come actually run a couple sessions for our troublemakers. So come hang out for that. Yeah. And then Steven, what's on Tuesday, man?
Yeah, Tuesday is Forbidden Lands, Beneath Ash and Snow, Volcanoes and Glaciers, and I'm probably partly responsible for what happened tonight. There was almost a TPK in a previous session, and there might have been some karma involved here tonight.
Well, I would never professionally hold it against you.
No, of course not. But hopefully this GM arms race does start to cool off sometime in the next couple weeks. It won't be next Tuesday though, because I'm feeling angry. But no, I'm just kidding, of course.
Very nice. Next Friday, we are back to Blade Runner as we alternate Fridays between Conan and Blade Runners. We'll be back with Conan in 2 weeks, where you can see Drusus get eaten by a snake. You can see Steven get, finally tortured. Like we've been teasing
modern art.
We've been teasing it for a month now, so we really gotta have to go through. But thank you for everyone who hung out tonight. Thank you for those of you who threw out some bits and some subs. Thank you for the raid, Steam Still Murder, DOTV podcast. We appreciate it very much. We are going to pay it forward. Our friends at Defenders of Cobalt are still playing, so we're going to go ahead and raid them. So follow us to that to other channel. If you don't follow the Lollygaggers already, please do. Also check out the YouTube channel, Adventures in Lollygagging. You can find all of our old games up there, plenty of stuff to keep you entertained. Otherwise, have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Later.